Liftoff. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Friday, November 18th, 2022, DBCC Zoom meeting. I am your host, Barry Cowan, and with me today as a co-host will be Bob Anstett, who is also our guest presenter. So I thank him in both means. Want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. It's coming up a lot sooner than we all believe. The year just seems to be rocketing by. If you've looked in the stores, Black Friday is going on like crazy right now. Don't even care for the day of whether it's Cyber Monday. Right now, stores are stocked with inventory they couldn't get rid of during the pandemic. And therefore, they're dumping all kinds of winter stuff now into all your major retailers online and in the retail stores. So get in there and get an opportunity. Amazon is holding sales, big ones online. All the retailers, Target and you name them. Burlington, I was just there the other day, Five Below, you name it, Best Buy, they're all having sales right now. So get on the train and don't worry about missing it for Black Friday, because everybody's buying right now and it's a good time to save a lot of money. Okay. I'm asking everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. The way you do that is you go to our YouTube icon on our homepage, whether it be mobile or desktop. And when you click on it, it opens up to my Music Man YouTube channel. And all you have to do is click in the right-hand corner of any of the videos that I have there. It doesn't matter which one. You'll see a button there that says shows our logo. And above it says the subscribe word. Once you click on that, we get credit. And as we get more people subscribing to the channel, we get more visibility in search engines such as Google, and we get elevated in other ways. So help us to reach that goal. It'd be much appreciated. Also, I'm doing monthly articles in the CVE Reporter. You've seen the ones I've done already for the last month. The December one has already been submitted, so you'll see that in there, and I encourage you to share it with everybody. Pete and I are working on a flyer that we're going to put into the staff office next week, hopefully, and you'll be able to get a copy there and circulate it with fellow CVE residents. Help promote the club, and we appreciate all of you being here today to do that. Okay. That being said, I'm going to introduce today's guest speaker, who really doesn't need an introduction. Bob Anstett is the coordinator of digital initiatives at the Creation Station in Fort Lauderdale. And he has been with us for years and years when we had classroom presentations showing science and technology and robotics and whatever. And you'll recall, those of you who were there, that the lines went out the door. People just couldn't get enough of it. And so you're going to get another great dose of it today. He's also going to tell you about his special podcast that he's been doing. And I believe he'll be converting them to video at some point, but they're all audio. Is that correct right now?
Actually, they're up on video now. Depends on which service you use for them.
Okay, well, he'll explain that to you. Yep. And then I want everybody to keep in mind as we end the meeting, think of what you are most thankful for this Thanksgiving and share it with everyone. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Bob Anstett. Let's give him a sitting ovation.
Thank you guys all very much.
Sir, you may share your screen when you're ready.
Yep, all set. So today we're going to talk about 3 different things. Rather than doing the fancy slideshow presentation or anything, going to show my browser window for a lot of this to show you some of the stuff that's been going on and what we've been doing. Going to hit a couple things. We've got our drone, our underwater drone. If you didn't attend one of the sessions over this past summer, You'll get a chance again coming up. I'll give you a date in just a minute. Then we're going to talk about the new robot that we have, Cobot, and we'll explain why that is when we get to there. And we'll show you it live at the library that it currently is and drive it around the building and everything for you. That's a fun things. And then finally, we'll talk about the podcast that the library is about to debut. I've been doing it now for about 2 years, but we finally have gotten the county to agree to put this out as a regular, normal podcast anyone can subscribe to. And so we'll show you some of that. And the bonus part is going to be, I'm going to build an episode for you live so we can talk about what goes into creating a podcast so anybody can do it, and show you how this all works and some of the thought processes and everything that goes along behind it. So I have a submarine. And if you haven't seen this before, well, I think we did talk about it when I first got it last year, Barry. I think we talked about the idea of getting this.
Right.
And so now I'm going to share, let me come down here and share my screen. And so there you go. Now you can see this is the 5 fish that we have here. The reason we went out and got this, I've been talking about this for a couple of years. One of the things that happens every spring, and that's why it's coming up again here with us all, is we do waterway cleanups throughout Broward County. And all of those waterway cleanups deal with things only on the surface, things along the banks of canals and the retention ponds or in the intercoastal. And the idea is I wanted to see what we could do going deeper. So that's why we are using this 5 fish here. You can see on the front, it's got a claw. Mine's just off because it's easier to transport around without it. You can see here's some of it in action here, being able to go around. It's connected by a cable, goes down, can go up to 300 foot down. So I've been out in the intercoastal, out in a lot of the lakes and stuff around here. I'm going to show you some video of it here in just a moment. And it might surprise you. You'd think, hey, well, we're going to go out in the intercoastal. We're going to go explore and go down here. How many feet do we need to go down? You only need to go 14 feet down. Out in the intercoastal off for most of the area, it is only 12 to 15 feet down in most of the center part of the intercoastal area here. So I'm going to stop sharing. Come on, give me back my screen here. Come on. Give me back my sorry there. Getting my mouse back to where it is. Okay, there we go. Stop that sharing. I'm going to share some actual video that we have done with the 5 fish here. There's no audio on this, so you don't have to worry about that, about trying to hear any of that part of it there. Let me find my... So here is a short video here. You can see that of some of the stuff that we found out there earlier this year. You can see where some of the fish, you can zooming around, etc., and things like that. I'm going to cut to a different one that's a little bit easier to see what's going on here. There we go. Come on. Oh, sorry. That was not the one that I wanted. This is the one I wanted. So here we did a little bit of avant-garde horror film pretending to do kind of stuff with this. You can see how you can rotate the camera around up and down. This was taken at night. You can see up in the upper left-hand corner, we're at 1.4 meters, just over 4 foot, 5 foot down, going through some grass and weeds underneath.
We're not seeing anything that you're describing.
You're not seeing that video?
No.
Okay, let me take it off of being the full screen. I'm coming back to.
Okay.
How about that now? You're not seeing that at all?
No, we just see the entire array of things on the page.
File folders.
Huh, but you did see it, that's the same one we showed you earlier too, that's interesting.
Yep, we saw the older one, the one with the submarine. That was clear as a bell.
Yeah. Okay, try this one. Is
Okay,
this one working for you?
no,
Okay,
Still the file.
I
folders.
have an idea.
Can you
Come on,
open the
stop
file
sharing.
folder?
Yeah, it's in a file folder. I think that what happened with it is when I went to share, I did not grab video.
yeah, make sure it says,
Yep.
you know, that sound is
It's
enabled there.
optimized for a video now.
Mhm. Maybe you don't need that optimized because we've done it without it and we just
Yeah.
use the share sound. That may be the problem.
We're getting there. I can pop it in there really fast for us.
Okay,
Because I know where all the stuff is. Grabbing it off of a different server now. There we go. How's that for you? Oh, nope. Okay. Oh, hey, I see exactly what happened for it. Okay, so we're gonna stop trying to show those. I just got, I now Zoom just put up 3 errors. They're in too high quality to share over Zoom. That's
Aw.
the issue.
oh,
Because I shoot all this stuff in 4K because I can, and
Because you can.
Zoom couldn't handle shooting it.
we apparently don't have the bandwidth enabled,
Correct.
enough of it.
So this is what we're doing with these here, of being able to take this, go out there in the canals, go find things. We were out in over at Nova, and we went around and chased after some turtles and some things with some of the students out there. That was fun. We have too bad you can't see them. We have decent video right here downtown Fort Lauderdale of some of the type of fish that are off the pier here in Huizenga Park, right here in the New River. And then I can show you the exact same fish that are up in Pompano, up at the beach branch on the intercoastal. Same fish, same kind of thing going on, not the actual fish, but you know what I mean, the same species, everything that are up there and where they're moving around and what they're doing. So it's been really good to be able to show the kids and adults how this all works, how the whole ecosystem down here in South Florida all interacts, how things can go from place to place. And so that is my key trial with this. Now, it's not something that's a one and done for the summer. Last year, it was Oceans of Possibility, was our what we talked about for the summer learning program. This upcoming time is going to be Come Together this summer, but we're still going to do some of these things with the submarine. And February 3rd is the time that I'm going to be up near your space at the Beach Branch Library. So it'll be an outside event. So feel free to come if you want. February 3rd, Beach Branch, just off of Atlantic there, and A1A there. We're going to be out on the intercoastal with the submarine, and you will be able to see it live, whatever we discover down there. Crossing our fingers, because it's manatee season, that we'll be able to snag 1 or 2 pictures that way. I think that would be a lot of fun. I've tried to get the otters out in a lake by my house, and I have not been able to succeed in that one. But beyond that, it's been pretty good. We've been able to capture some fun things. Anyone have any questions about how that works? What's going on with the drone and things like that?
Pretty exciting.
What time will you be there at the library in February?
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, February 3rd it's up there, you know, broward.org/library/events. I'll put it in the chat for everybody.
What time
And
will
you
you be
can
there?
always check out for whatever we're doing, any of the different labels and all the stuff that are out there for everyone to come see and do. It's all controlled just like a video game controller type thing where you're driving it around. So if any of you are any good at video games, come on out. I'll let you drive.
Are they looking at coral reefs also there?
No, because we don't have any coral reefs within right on the shore in Broward County. There are some that are out about a quarter mile out. If you go down to Hollywood Beach. But in order to do that, you would have to get on a boat to go out that way and then drop the drone in that way. So I did do something similar to that with the Angari Foundation up in Palm Beach, one of our summer things where we went out on a shark tagging expedition. We took some teens out and I took the drone with us and we dropped it off the edge of the boat up there. But you need to have a boat, and it starts to get expensive to kind of hire a boat and people just go out there and spend a little bit of time. Batteries last about an hour and a half or so. So a bit much to do it just for this kind of thing. But hey, I'm always up for it. If anybody got a boat, let's go.
I was asking because someone I know is studying the coral down at the tip of Fort Lauderdale, the northern tip. I forget
Yep.
which university it is. She's going for her degree in there. And they're studying coral reefs.
Yeah, both NOVA and FAU have research sites. And it's that area. It's on Hollywood Beach at the north end of Hollywood Beach. There is where that comes. It's south of Port Everglades, and then again north of Port Everglades are the two spots where they do a lot of that.
Do we
Yeah,
have-
I used to dive off a commercial boulevard a little north of that, and we had to go out to almost the third reef to be able to find anything still alive that would
Yeah.
be able to, that you could see that was decent.
Do we have anything else that will display, or are they all 4K?
No, all of them are in really high quality video for that, so that we can use them, going forward.
Okay.
hopefully they're going to be really good. So, moving on from our drone, from our submarine here, which, by the way, we are we're the only library in the country to have this out there, a public library to do this. There's a handful of organizations, museums, and police departments and stuff that have them, because this is the kind of thing that you use to do underwater research, archaeology stuff, crime scene recovery, and those sorts of things. So we're the only public library out there doing this, which is kind of fun. We've had lots of interactions with that out there. The reason I mention that is because we are now also the only library in the country. I'm going to go back and share the screen again. Just go back to basic screens. There we go. And come on, you can share it. There you go. Close that. There we go. Get that out of my way. We have a Temi robot. So if you have not seen these yet, and I'm going to show you some other things. This right here, we have this one here in the center is the one that we actually own. Temi is a company that does cobots. So the difference in between a robot and a cobot. Robots are meant to work the assembly line, are meant to do things on their own, to do a job for a person instead of a person, kind of thing. Whereas a cobot is supposed to be there to work with a person. So in this case, you can see we have, this is one of the options that we would use, this sort of thing. Come on. Where I don't need to type. There we go. And you can see where it comes up, visits you, does that sort of stuff. Really nice, really easy. We're using this in libraries. We've had it at several different libraries so far. Here at Maine Library, we've done it at African American Research Library. We did it at the North Lauderdale Library, and it is currently out at the West Regional Library. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment here. How this works is you come in and you can program. I'm going to show you my center for how to program it and everything too here. You get a chance to have this machine interact with customers, and it's, as you saw in that quick video there, it's a short, simple way of communicating, interacting that doesn't include another person to do it with you. And that's a key thing. You may have seen in the news a couple months ago that Nova out at Alvin Sherman Library opened up a new innovation lab, and they have a Pepper robot. And one of the problems is with those Pepper robots is you need to have special coding experience to do it. They're expensive and they're discontinued. So people still get them and go buy them because they're flashy and they look cool, but then you have to have a staff person there using them at all times. And instead with this can work with a person or with a customer and not have to be watched by anyone on staff or anything to do this. So we have this, the black enterprise version here. Gonna put this one right here to show you the basics here of retail. And this is what we have right now. Very similar things. You can have it come up and you can just say, hey, Temmie, hey, Temmie, go to large print. And it will just take you right over to the large print section and show you where it is. Or take me to the DVDs, etc. You can do all sorts of different stuff with these on making this work. And I know all the cool videos and you're like, okay, fine, Bob, why do I care about this? So let's go take a look at West Regional right now. This is the West Region. This is the Broward County Library, Temmie. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. Get rid of that grid. I hate that grid. There we go. So question? Oh, yeah, done. Yeah.
No. I do though. Was that verbally interactive with that, or is
Yes.
it all touch screen?
Both. You can do either one that you want.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So you can see here's the map. Now this map looks complicated. It is the full floor of West Regional Library on the first floor. And that whole map took me about 25, 30 minutes to create. Because the robot has, I'm going to flip back to, so you can see what it looks like. Down here at the bottom as it's moving along, you can see it's got a little radar unit down there using LiDAR to scram. It's how you map things, how your Roomba does, how self-driving cars, the beginnings of self-driving cars. We do not have those yet. How they track pedestrians and other cars around them and stuff like that. So it uses that, and you can map out this entire floor that fast. And then you just go in and you add whatever sections you would like to have it marked as a location for it to go to. Now we can see that our Temmie right now is here at the greeting location. So it has left its home base where it was charging overnight. It went out to the greeting location. I'm going to call into it. There we go. I'm going to mute myself on there. So you can see that is the library right there. I'm going to make it full screen so it's easier for you to see. That's West Regional Library. Now, let's go for a drive. Stop. So you can see I can manipulate it around. I can move back and forth and do things. Now I can go to any of the locations I'd like to. So let's go down here to the youth printer. And so we can go, I've muted myself so people don't have to hear me talking as we're going along and showing this. But you can see it just drives autonomously through the library. It knows where all the pieces are. That cart was not there on the map, but it knew to go around it and come up. It went right around that person that was there checking out things, goes down. So now if you were the person at the building, you could just tell it, hey, Tammy, go to the youth printer or tap on the location button. It would take you right directly there. Let's try it. There we go. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Is this utilizing AI?
Hey, guys.
Hang on,
How are you?
gotta get rid of that. Oh, shoot.
Hey there. How are you? Can you hear me? Okay, well, somebody turned off the camera. They saw that and turned off the camera. I'll be able to update that in a minute. So now I'm going to, let's, come on. Well,
I think she turned off the whole thing.
Mhm.
okay, so I'm going to hang up the call. It'll automatically call. It'll automatically leave. You can see here on our map that it is back here at the youth printer now, and then it'll make its way back here to the greeting area for what is going on and doing. So that I'm not going to bother to mess with it right now. But I do want to show you some of the other things that we can do with it, because while I can't show you the physical robot, at least I can show you what the screen of the robot looks like that we've designed. So you can see this is what your screen will look like when you walk up to it. And it has 2 buttons visible right now. There'll be a 3rd button soon. And that 3rd button will be a contact button, and I'll explain. So you've got the first button on here as a touch screen, which is the library website, and so you can go in and check for a book. You can check for events. You can check for do all of the full searches you would normally do right then and there on the TEMI in front at whatever building you're at. So you could do a search and find, I need this book, and it's in large print. And so you can get, oops. Yes, thank you, Barry. I just saw the chat part about the LiDAR thing.
Mhm.
So you can go in there and you can do a search, and you can type in for an event that's happening at the library, and then say, hey, Temmie, take me to the story room, or take me to the multipurpose room, and it would take you to the area where your event's going to be in. Or you could look up a book, and then you could just tap on the location button right next to it, and then go to large print, and it will take you, just like you saw, it'll just take you right over to large print and let you go there and do that. So that right there is one of the key things we're doing with this. And the 3rd button, the contact button, will be, you can click on the button and do a live video conference just like this with a librarian to ask your question live and get help. So if you can't find it on the website, or if you need something else, you'll be able to just click there and get help for showing off and doing your thing. There are some other things. There's some wording that goes across the screen here, just reminding people what to do, how to interact with the computer and things like that. I do want to point out, let's customize this. As we mentioned earlier, the LiDAR and Scram technology that it uses down here at the bottom to track and do everything around. As you saw, it avoided customers, avoided things that have been placed there overnight or over the last couple of days, things that move around, so you can see that. You can actually create tours of areas also, where you come up and greet it, it'll say hello to you, and then it can take you on a tour of an area. So we're anticipating being able to use that at ARLIC, at African American, in the gallery. and being able to use that in the museum gallery downstairs where you can walk into the door and then Temi can take you from location to location and explain what is in each of the cases and show you what's there.
Bob, could this technology be used also in a grocery store, for example, like
Yes.
Publix?
Yep, anything and everything. Now, the power on this is good. It lasts about 8 hours in our libraries. And you can program it so it automatically goes back and recharges when it needs. It's got a small shelf on the back there that you can kind of see here. This small shelf that you could place a handful of small things, not groceries per se, but other things like that that you can do. So that is the key thing for those things that we're using. Now, we're still experimenting. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to be able to do with this, how people and customers are going to interact. Some of the kids at North Lauderdale figured out they could just use it as a jukebox because it's got YouTube on it. So they would have it come over to their study table and they'd be having to play music videos while they're out there studying and doing their thing. When they weren't on a regular computer. So they didn't have to use their phone, etc. I had somebody discover there's a selfie function built in because there's a camera there, obviously. So they figured out how to take selfies with it. So there's all sorts of things like that that people are experimenting with and trying and doing. Hindrances, things we know we have a problem with. One is it can only stay on one floor. Obviously, it cannot do stairs. Although I will show you the map. So when I'm on the map, and we're zoomed in here, let's get rid of that grid again. These lines are virtual walls. This one in particular is the one I want to talk about. You've got a virtual wall right here. That is a glass wall at West Regional. If you've been in the West Regional Library out in Plantation, this bottom area down here where the exit and restrooms are, that's their open atrium, all tile floor. Then you've got a glass wall in between you and the rest of the library. The Temi's radar goes right through that glass. That LiDAR scram technology works really well, ignoring the glass to track everything. I don't want the robot to try and go through the glass. You know, obviously it's just going to come up to it. It's going to, when it gets close to it, it's going to spot it as an error, and it's going to stop and not go through that area. And it'll have to just kind of like bounce along the wall until it finds the opening. So by drawing it as a virtual wall for it on the map, now it knows, okay, I can't cross this area and I can go down and around. So similar to the fiction and large print sections where there's no books on the bottom level, on the very bottom shelf, to make it easier for people to get down so they don't have to bend down to get the books. So I drew virtual walls on each of those to make sure that people had a good time with that. Really straightforward, really easy to do. It's been great. It really has been. This has been a really nice thing. Irving, ask a question.
Yes. Could you program it so that it could take an elevator and work on another floor in the same building?
The answer is yes, but so how that works is two different ways. One, you could say, hey, Temi, follow me. And then when you get into the elevator, it gets onto the elevator with you and just follows you along. And as long as you take it back to its original home and take it back to its home base, it'll be fine. But the real way and the way it should be programmed and set up is you buy the extra module for your elevator control, and then the Temi would understand and know, and it could come up to the elevator, call the elevator, go to whichever floor of the elevator it needs to go to, up or down, to go off and follow the map on that floor. It's great. Not going to happen. The county's not going to let me start installing extra pieces on elevators in libraries. So at this point, we only have one of them in the system. all of the libraries that it's been at, they've all asked me, well, are they going to be able to keep it? Because once it's been there for a couple of days, they love it. Number two, they have a cost involved. And the cost, while for an average person, it does seem a little bit high. It's $3,500 for the actual unit for the robot itself. And it allows you to do a lot of things for that cost. But to really get all of this like customization stuff that I've been doing and things like that, you really need a subscription. And the subscription is $100 a month.
Mm.
Like I can do the video calls on it for up to 1 minute without the subscription. With the subscription, I have unlimited length, unlimited number of calls, etc.
Sound like Zoom got into that.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that they have to keep making money if they're going to keep running this software and doing these things. You know, that's something Amazon's finding out with their Echo program. They have to find it. They're going to find something like that too. However, so this is designed for small business, for home use, because you could have it set up and work around your house in a one-story house, multiple rooms, go through, carry stuff back and forth for you, etc., and things like that. Do video chatting. It is more than just a mobile Echo, but it really is a mobile Echo. If you were to take like a Echo Show, mount it onto something that could drive around, that's what this is. So it's a nice device. It's getting good use by customers and staff. And it is definitely something that I'm very pleased with how our experiment's going so far. And over the next couple of months, as we build on this, we'll see if we start rolling it out to more libraries at the same time, if we go out and purchase additional ones. We definitely will be having it at other libraries. So you could always find out where it is. I don't know how they're going to announce where it's going next. Marketing hasn't told me any of that kind of stuff. So right now I'm just still experimenting going. Yes, sir.
Excuse me 1 second. If I'm not mistaken, that this device, this LiDAR concept is used by law enforcement to calculate distances between a device and the vehicle. So they can use it to calculate their speed, right?
Right. Yeah, you could do all sorts of stuff with that. Yeah. So that is our Temi. That is our new robot. If you have any ideas for me, feel free to email me. creationstation@broward.org always comes to me. I'll be glad to try and answer those questions and see what we can do with that. So I've got about 20 minutes left. Any questions so far on these two things? Because the next one is our podcast, going in a totally different direction now. So leaving equipment and going on to software. The library now has a podcast, and it is up on Spotify. Anchor is how we upload it. I'll show you that in a minute. Then you have Spotify, which is who owns Anchor. And we're also out on iHeartRadio and a lot of things, getting iTunes and Google and Amazon sorted out, next week, hopefully, to be able to just tell any device anywhere, just play the Creation Station podcast. It is, I've mentioned it before because we've been doing this for a couple of years, but just on WebEx, and it was really a thing you had to go to the library Facebook page to watch. Now you can come and get any of the episodes that you'd like, listen to any of them, and do it. We have the weekly show, the Tech Talk Weekly, which is a 20-minute show. We cover the individual tech stories of that week. Then I have Creation Station Monthly, where we talk about individuals and how they became creative, what they do with their creativity. The last couple of months, we did science fairs back in September. Citizen science and how that all works, geared more towards parents and people in school who are doing science fairs, but it was pretty informative for people on how to do it. Last month for October, we did cosplay, brought a local cosplayer. He works at Nova University, and paired him up with an author who was writing about the artists who do cosplay. And he wrote a book about that. And pair these people up and let them talk and see what goes on in that. It's a really fun series. November will be about veteran services. People who have done it either have been veterans or working with veterans and how they present services to the public. Marcia, go.
Is Spotify something you need to pay for to get these podcasts?
Not at all, no. And you can get them through an RSS feed. You could just have them delivered to you directly that way, all sorts of stuff. And that's what I'm in the middle of making sure all of those happen for you so that it's really easy. I'll show you where our podcast is available right now. We have iHeartRadio, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio, not Radio Public yet, and Stitcher. So if you're familiar with Stitcher as a podcast feed, you could use that. If you're used to using Spotify for your podcasts, you could use that. And again, I'll get the harder ones to get on are Apple, Google, and Amazon. Not because they're hard to get on as a podcaster, but because of county rules about setting up accounts and things like that. So I'm in the middle of working on those, getting that all straightened out.
And these are all in video format, right?
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, and they are all in video format. Now, some of these places will only play you an audio of the video, and I want to show you every episode. And here's our Tech Talk from yesterday that we just released yesterday. It always tells you, it gives you a short clue on what's going on, and then it gives you all of the links to all the stories that we follow. So anything that we talk about, you can come to the show notes page in whatever app you're in and check and follow up exactly on any of those pieces. So I want to get to the idea here. This one here is a fun one for everybody. If you get a chance to go listen to it, we did a bonus episode last August on Artemis. When they rolled it out to the pad the very first time, we did a talk, and that talk was with Slade Peters, who's in charge of ground operations for recovery. So come December 11th, he's the person in charge of getting that capsule out of the Pacific Ocean. So that's an hour-long show, much bigger than my normal 20-minute things. So go and listen. All that being said, yeah, anybody can make a podcast. Yeah. But have any of you guys actually done it? And how would you go about doing it? So that's what I want to take the next 10, 15 minutes, and we're going to make a podcast right now. We're all going to work on it together. We're going to show what goes on with that. So how I always start with things is looking at my news feeds. I have two primary news feeds that I access a lot. Google News from here, and you can see let's hit refresh and see what comes up on this. That was this morning. Okay, there we go. So here's the basic news stories. And one of the things you have to do about your podcast, know what are you talking about and why. In my case, I am a tech broadcast. So I'm talking about technology and being creative. I need to make it 20 minutes or less. We were right around the 20-minute mark. And all of the news stories have to be relevant to our customers, to anyone who's going to listen, and easily explainable so that they know what's going on and why. So just looking here, top stories, an election. No, that doesn't fit my thing. The shooting in Idaho doesn't fit my thing. Taxes doesn't hit my thing. You know what? This might be a thing for me. The Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. Maybe that would be an article I'd want to pay attention to. I might look at it or not, things like that. Going through Twitter, probably a story to follow. We'll see. But I do want to point out a couple of things. One, here is a great story that I found. Let's close out of that. Is Seeing Still Believing. Somebody shared this link I found it was on my page on Facebook from back then. Somebody reshared it again. It made it to my feeds this morning. And I'm like, oh, huh, that might be a really cool article to do. But no, it's from November of 2018. So if you're going to give a talk about AI and deep fakes and stuff, this would be a really great resource for you to use, but it wouldn't be topical for your podcast. Artemis, tons and tons of news about Artemis out there right now. Here's a great thing to go follow. And here you can see exactly what's going on with the Orion spaceship out there as it's cruising over the next 3 weeks, going around the moon, doing this stuff. That looks pretty cool. Okay, great. Oh, hey, there's a way we can track it on the web. Let's click there. And it's loading, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. And it did, great. Barry was here with me earlier when I showed this and it didn't work because it was dead. Their site was being swamped by so many people, it was dead. So here, that's a pretty cool thing. Where are we? There we go. That's the moon. There we are. No, thank you. No, that. And here's our thing. We're 2 days out now, 2 days out. We're traveling at 1,600 miles, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, this is going to be a good thing. Let's add this to our thing. So I copy this and I'm going to put it into my Teams. And I've got a team. You can't see this on the screen because I'm not sharing that part of it, but I just have a notepad up in Teams that I track all the stories I might want to use for next week's show. So that's a really good story to use. That's pretty good. Now let's go and find through the news. Let's go for you. Let's find and look. Remember, we need 3 to 4 stories to make a podcast. And we've got to be able to talk about all those stories inside of 3 minutes each with someone who doesn't know what the stories are or doesn't know a lot about the stories, because I get guests on who are just random library people around the library system to show that we have a wide variety of interests and people all around the library system. So I'm scrolling through this. Hey, there we go. Let's talk about this. There's a great story. I'm going to drop this into the chat for everybody. Seriously, I am finding this live now because this just came out yesterday in the afternoon. So I haven't seen this one yet. So in the chat, there is the story about using AirPods as hearing aids. Did you see that one, Barry?
Yeah, I did.
You see that story there?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. Go ahead and
Very
read
good.
that. Go ahead and read that really quick for me there.
Study,
Just skim through it. Yep. Not the study, just skim through the story there.
okay.
So,
Okay. Interesting me is his AirPods, particularly the other model, right?
oh, hold on, no, wait. I haven't done this. Okay, so now we're going to pretend that I hit record.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not going to take us out of Zoom and do this. I'm
All
going
right.
to just say, hit record now. Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about 3 to 4 interesting news topics, get you a fun library fact, and send you on your way in about 20 minutes each day. As always, if you have any stories you'd like to share, creationstation@broward.org comes right to me. Today, my guest host is Barry Cohen. Barry, how are you doing today?
Doing just fine, Bob. How are you?
Thank you, Barry. Let's get into our stories right away because this is a really fun one that I went out and found today. Do you have a pair of AirPods, Barry?
No.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not an Apple person at all. But if I'm going to use my headphones anyway for something, maybe I should be using some high quality ones. Now, the little Bluetooth ones that most people are using are not going to be able to pull this off. This is one of the advantages Apple has. And everybody's familiar with seeing the little white sticks sticking out of people's ears now, aren't you? You've seen this around with people, right, Barry?
Absolutely.
What kind of devices do you use to listen to?
Oh, gosh, I have, well, I have headphones. I have other types of ear devices, but they're not AirPods. I have similar
Yeah, but
devices.
you have the Bluetooth ones that you can walk around and do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so this story here is talking about the idea that the technology that is in AirPods is as good as the medical technology now that is in prescription hearing aids. Now, you might want to remember, a few months ago, we talked about it on the show about when they passed the law saying that we would be able to now sell hearing aids without a prescription. This is a direct result of that. So this is an idea of the government going through, changing some regulations, making it a little bit looser for people to incorporate more products in a category. And so now we get this. Now, I doubt this is as good as a hearing. Do you need a hearing aid yet, Barry?
What'd you say?
Do you need a hearing aid? That was very funny, sir. That was very funny. I got it. I'm sorry, man. Oh, man. See, this is why we need people on the show, folks. Okay, so thank you very much for being here with me today, Barry. As always, if you want to see your favorite librarian or library featured on the show, reach out, creationstation@broward.org. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye now.
And that's it. And we just recorded a small podcast. We did our research. We found a show, did it all in less than 15 minutes.
Wow.
Now, no one else here is going to be able to do it that fast, that quick, but you can do all of those things. And now I'm going to show you here how to upload an episode and how easy it is to do. Because so what if you've got a recording on your phone or on your computer? What are you actually going to do with it? So Anchor is a free website, does not cost anything, does not do anything. I've got a video that I grabbed off of my server earlier.
Mhm.
Here we go. Boom. There is my episode. It is uploading. I need to give it a title, test, video for class. And then you have to tell it what you want your listeners to know. Like you saw when I showed you our original one, I have a format that's there, episode number, whatever, recorded on this date, a quick blurb about what the stories are going to be, and then direct links to all those stories that are in there. So down here, hey, stories, and boom, there's our link there. You can go and publish it right now. Obviously, we're not going to. You can tell it what season we're in, what episode. I'm in season 2 right now. This would be episode like 104 for me. 104, yeah, 104. You can change your art so that it matches up with the theme of your thing. You'll have noticed when we did ours, I've got different art for each of the different types of shows. The
Wow.
Creation Station monthly, we have one branding for art. For the weekly, we have a different branding, and then special episodes get their own special stuff.
So you need to have an
And-
account with Spotify or with Anchor, is that a
Nope,
requirement?
do not.
No?
You need to create an account with Anchor
Mhm.
to be able to do this.
Okay.
But let's go in here. Let me go bring that Anchor, bring up my original one there now. So this is what you're going to see when you come there. And you'll be able to come in and do all of your stuff here that you'd like to see.
Hey, are we on somewhere? This one we just did?
No. I mean, it's here in
Okay.
Anchor. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's our untitled one that we're in the middle of playing around with.
Okay.
And I can go back and I can view the episode details and edit it.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go. Here's the one that we just did. Because I didn't record it, really,
Okay.
there's nothing. I just grabbed the miscellaneous recording that I have there.
All right.
But you can see you get question and answers added as polls. You can automatically can get question and answers added and set up however many questions you want people to ask. You want to ask people, would you use do you think it's safe to use AirPods instead of a hearing aid? You could set that up as a question and get responses back from people. You can go in and add a poll, etc. Any of those things that you would like to do. Questions, ideas on that. The reason I show you this is because anyone can do a podcast. If you have original content, you can post it up there. So the same things you're posting right now up to YouTube, you could take those and put them up here on Anchor and create a podcast for people to be able to access and listen to as they're driving in the car. I think we have somebody here right now who's driving in the car listening to this. You could set it up so they could just do these as podcasts and just listen as you're driving in the car, listen, walking around the kitchen, etc., etc. Let's stop sharing. And so you get a chance to do. Marcia, you got a question?
Well, would this be something good to do to share, say, family genealogy information?
Sure, you could set it up. You could, this could be a way you could record that information for people, create it as a podcast, and then tell the kids and grandkids, subscribe to this podcast, and then you just give them, hey, here's my story. Here's what I remembered today, a story to tell you about what happened when I was a little kid, or a story I remember about my grandparents, record it as an audio, upload it to a podcast, and now anybody can have access to it to listen to when they want. You don't have to wait till Thanksgiving to sit around the table and tell them.
Does this make more sense to do than, say, just recording an audio clip or going?
Well, this is an audio clip to record. So it's the same thing. You're still recording that audio clip. You can record ahead of time, like I did, and upload, or you could just hit the button and start recording live if you wanted to, right inside of Anchor. And then you would have those there listed as episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have all your different things that you've recorded, and then anybody can go back and listen to them later on and not worry about where did that recording disappear. Did that computer die? Did the hard drive die? Where's the flash drive she saved her recordings on? It's there. Dorothy, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I have iPods, but do you have to get the other iPods? Is there going to be a special kind of iPod? So just my regular iPods I can use for hearing?
Yep. It's just that article there is talking about the idea. And when you go read it, it's that the technology in AirPod Pros is so high, and the tuning and everything is available that's in there. It's almost medical quality hearing aids now.
Okay, that's
right.
great. I'll try it.
I think
Yeah.
the Pro 2 is out. I think that's
Yeah.
the latest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get them cheap because Amazon is going to sell them much cheaper now. I think they may be doing it already. The Black Friday sales at Apple are highly desired commodities,
Yeah.
especially during the holidays. And they're anxious to try and pull that money in for Apple, as you know. They're not a
Yeah.
greedy company.
Yeah. And Marcia points out in the chat about Costco having hearing aids that connect to the TV versus Bluetooth. That's what these AirPod Pros can do also. I mean, that's why I have these. It's not that I'm hard of hearing. It's that I can block out noise. I can put this on in my office and I can be listening. I can connect my Bluetooth to my phone and to the computer. And when I'm at home, I can connect to the TV and I can listen and do what I want, how I want, all through Bluetooth. High quality. These are Bose, high quality over the ear, with sound deafening and all the other good stuff, noise reduction, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, Bob, this was an amazing presentation. Let's give him a DBCC hand for an excellent
thank you.
presentation. And we appreciate it. And can you
We have
also
one-
get the, go ahead.
We got one more question out there, it looks like.
Right, go ahead.
Give us, sir.
I can't see anyone's hands up. Do you?
Not now. I guess he took it down.
Okay.
Go. You're up, Barry.
Okay. Thank you, Bob. you can stick around with us a little while, but I know you got a lot to do, so,
I do. We have a
Thank-
new, we have a brand new regional director I have to go have a meeting with. So have a great day, everybody. And reach out to me, Creation Station.
I'm
at
looking,
Broward.org.
I'm looking forward with an appointment to my Themis doctor soon.
Yes, nice. Have
Okay,
fun. Bye.
bye-bye. Okay, folks, I hope you all enjoyed that. I learned a great deal. This gentleman is really well-versed in technology. We put up some links into the chat. You may want to copy them down or just, we'll probably send it to you. So I wish we had more people than we do, but that may be a consequence of people still not knowing that we exist. So you are our goodwill ambassadors, whether you're in Century Village or whether you're in Ottawa, whatever, whoever you know that hasn't been attending, all you have to do is say, hey, look at what you missed. Send them a link to one of our videos or something and get them involved, as Bob Gastisha always does. He says, get involved in everything. And that's what you got to do. You can't just sit on the sidelines and let everybody else do it. That's why with all the problems that I have here at the house, this involvement on a regular basis is mental energy to me. Seeing all of you healthy is very important to me also. Let's take a quick look at or talk about what's coming up. My goodness, on December 2nd, our next class, Jerry Rogan's coming back to talk all about the Apple Health. If you have an Apple Watch or whatever, or you're interested in Apple, he's going to talk about the Apple Watch, the health app, and everything. Even my doctor uses it. I have an MD-VIP physician, and I can actually take input from the Apple Watch, like an ECG, and send it right over to him. And he can view it there before I actually go in for an ECG or an EKG or whatever. They're constantly making a lot of changes in that area. So be aware of that. Also, on the final class of 2022, which will be December 16th, is our annual Zoom holiday party. And I can't wait for that, because that's when everybody dresses up for the holidays. Hanukkah will have passed. When is Hanukkah? I forget what it is. The 18th or something? It's earlier and than Christmas. And so dress up for whatever the holiday is. We used to do that in the classroom all the time. I've got old pictures I may show. And I'm doing a history of everything that we did in 2022, sort of a wrap up. And we'll talk about a lot of stuff. We'll have a chat. I might have a guest speaker there or so. I'm not sure that'll be the case, but that'll be it until I think January 6th is the first Friday. Is that correct in 2023? I think that'll be it. We'll take a 3-week
Yes.
holiday break until January 6th. And I'll be starting that with my traditional the road ahead in 2026, 2023 rather, class. What we're going to plan to do, we're going to be having a meeting over the holidays to discuss how well we've done in thus far. So to wrap up this meeting, I want to mention that all of us should be thinking about, if Thanksgiving's coming along, whether with friends or with family or just by yourself, I'd like to know how you all plan to spend Thanksgiving. Let's start with Helene. How are you going to do Thanksgiving? What are your plans?
My son and his significant other and my daughter and someone she's dating are all coming down from Connecticut and New York to take me out for Thanksgiving. They said, Mom, you're not cooking. And so they're taking me to a restaurant called Abe and Louie's. If anybody's familiar with that, Abe and Louie's.
Where is that?
Boca.
Oh, everything's in Boca, sure.
In Boca. But what I'm thankful for is the good health of my family and myself, and just having family around me, and having a wonderful a wonderful family who's attentive to me. And I'm just so thankful for all of that. And I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Would anyone else like to tell us what they plan to do on Thanksgiving? Just raise your hand, please. I'll be able to see you. Hold on. Anybody else? Well, I'll just ask. Okay, Don, what's your plan? Unmute yourself, my friend.
All right, yeah, right now I'm kind of looking for a soup kitchen somewhere that I can go serve at or something. I don't have anybody down here. So I figured I might as well put on my little chef's outfit and go see if I can serve some mashed potatoes and gravy somewhere for
Oh,
the.
that's wonderful. Helping others is a great way to,
Yeah, well,
make you feel good during Thanksgiving for those that just don't have it anymore.
sounds better than staying home and watching a football game.
Well, I don't know about that. I personally would, it's better than having a lot of turkeys around the table, it's
For me,
right.
for me.
Which
And I gotta-
the two-legged ones are the worst.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got to get out there. I've got to get out there and do something. I've just spent a month putting my place, just completely rebuilding my place. So
Okay.
I got to get out.
Did you get a lot out of today's presentation?
I thought it was excellent. I came across something, the library, this duplication on demand, Bob. Is that, I don't know if I missed that or not, but that was a new service that the library was offering. I didn't quite understand it as much as I should have. Do you have?
Well, Bob's not on right now,
Oh, well, then never mind.
but I'll give you his address, you can contact
Well,
him.
I can find him. No, I can find him.
Okay,
He's on my hot list. Excuse me.
okay, Marcia, you're next. Tell me.
Well, I used to do what Don was suggesting he's gonna do. For a long time, I was vegetarian and I would go out to someplace serving the homeless or even guests. In Santa Fe at that time, only a couple of hotels were open for meals on Thanksgiving Day. And so it was very difficult for tourists to find food. And there were a couple of church type groups that were serving people. And so I would go out to help there because I didn't want to be cooking a turkey if I wasn't going to be eating turkey, which I don't care for anyway.
Okay,
We are going to my husband's family up in Wellington. There'll be at least 20 people there. There's always a big group of both Puerto Ricans and Puerto Rican Catholics and South Florida, New York type Jews. So it's an interesting mixture of people there. And
it
they
sure is.
turkey, but my husband bought us a turkey in addition anyway to make another time. So he loves Thanksgiving meals and we're thankful that he's still with us, of course. We keep hearing about more and more people that we're losing at this stage in our lives. So we're very thankful that we're still around.
Wonderful. How about you, Irving? Will you be throwing snowballs in Ottawa? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know that up in Canada, we've already had our Thanksgiving celebration and observance, but I'd like to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you
When
so
was
much.
when was your Thanksgiving observed in Canada?
Oh, in October.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else? So how about you, Dorothy? What are your plans?
Probably some friends and I have a sister here. We're gonna all go out for dinner. It's just too hard to cook a Thanksgiving dinner anymore. And we're thankful for the time that we have and we enjoy being with people. But I have to tell you, I put the iPods in and it's not making any difference at all. I think I hear better without them.
Yeah, they can be distractions sometimes, but the new ones I've heard are really good.
I thought I'd test them and see, and now I
Yeah.
just took them out and I can hear much better. So whatever, but I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and health is most important right now. And
Thank you
if
so
we can
much.
go through another year, that every year is a blessing.
That's right. My personal one is
Every day is a
for God to let me wake up the next morning. That's all I'm asking.
That's it.
Everything else is downhill. So, Barbara, welcome. It's good to see you. I'm glad you were able to join us, and now you're going to be a regular. We're going to put you
Yes,
onto
I
the
was
list.
I was under a total misconception. I'm thinking that it's computer skills, but how can you do that on Zoom? You have to be in person, right? I was totally, I was unaware of what it would be like, but it was
Well,
interesting.
If you
So-
go to our YouTube page, wherever you are, you go to our club site, right? db-cc.net. If you go to the YouTube page, you'll see all the videos we've done. Believe it or not, we've done a lot of stuff on Zoom that is also done in the classroom, and we've had very good attendance on it.
Oh, but you don't know me. Even getting to the YouTube page is difficult. It's a task for me. I'm definitely not technologically savvy.
Well, getting on Zoom and using that link shows me that you do have some saving graces.
Well, I was proud of myself that I was successful doing that. That's,
And I'm proud that you'll be able to join us. You'll be getting a direct link the next time. I think it's December 2nd. And this morning,
yeah.
I apologize for sending out 2 emails because I didn't look at what I was doing.
Okay.
And I actually put the date of November 22nd as this class rather than the 18th. So I had to send another one out to say, was it a typo or was it another senior moment? Probably it was where I'm concerned.
Right,
Okay.
age-related memory loss. We all have that, right? Yeah.
Right. Anybody else like to contribute? Steve, are you there?
Barry,
Yes.
it was an
Here.
it was an intellectual interruption.
All right. Steve,
Yes.
what are you going to do with Thanksgiving with
Well,
Chantal?
I'm going to be watching the Macy's Day Parade and wishing
Oh.
I had been in the parade when I had the opportunity when I was in high school. But there was a family problem and I couldn't get to the parade as I was invited there. So I had to watch my group parade and lead the parade there on Thanksgiving Day. So that's what I'll be lamenting, not being in the parade myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. My wife's working, so I'll be home alone. And just grateful for every day above ground.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks for reminding me about the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And for those of you who love football, they've already said that the Bills game is going to be moved to Detroit because of the tremendous snowstorm that's approaching Buffalo. I believe that it's the big news right now, at least in the country. And well, we're cooled off today. I think we're going to be in the upper 70s or something. When I got the paper this morning, usually at 5:30 in the morning, I'm glad I had my robe on because it was pretty strange to feel that kind of coolness. But it's kind of welcome to have that for the body once in a while, because if you stay in Florida, your blood chemistry changes if you go up north, and vice versa. If you've lived in a cold environment and then you come down to a warm one, it actually does affect your blood chemistry. That being said, everybody stay healthy and safe. God bless you for attending. This video will be posted probably maybe as early as tonight or tomorrow morning. I encourage you to look at it. Again, remember that you can, if you have not already subscribed to my video channel, please do so. Just click on that red YouTube icon on the mobile or on the desktop. Go ahead and when it opens up, you can go to my videos there and pick any one in the right-hand corner. It will show when you touch it with your mouse or whatever, it will show you the logo of the club, and above that will be a red subscribe. When you click on that, we're going to get credit for everything. Also, if you enjoyed Bob's presentation, comment below his video. We can't tell you that enough because the speakers do look at it, and that helps me to keep them high quality for the club as we go along. So again, I wish you all well, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on Friday, December The second for Jerry Rogan's presentation on Apple. You will really benefit from this. I'm telling you, don't miss it. And please be our Goodwill ambassadors. Get a hold of people that have not been attending. Send them a link, send them an email, whatever it is, get on the telephone. You know, the fastest means of transportation is tell someone. That's it. So take care, and I now say, see ya.
Thank you, Barry.